Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Antidepressants and seizure meds. I'm going to a new therapist. He's actually a psychiatrist, and long story short, I'm worried with had I been through and how depressed it has made me over the years. I know antidepressants and seizure medications interact. So those who take antidepressants and are on seizure meds, what do you take and how has it affected you? I think we could all answer this one. I take lamotrigine and it's affected me a lot. Yeah, my sleep pattern is way off. Insomnia. Yeah, and they say it makes your hair grow fast. Also, and yeah, I don't need that, but can't control it. Anybody else?
I went on lamotrigine as well, but it's helped me tremendously, and I don't have those problems. But I started on lamotrigine coming off of Keppra, and I was having such horrible problems with Keppra. So, hey, hold on, cat on the counter.
Hey, AJ, what are you guys taking, and how has it affected you?
Okay, go ahead, AJ.
I'm taking Keppra and Cenobamate, or I don't know how to say it. It's a new medication, and I feel it's getting worse.
Phenobarbital.
Excopri. I was going to say, I think
Exactly. Yes. It's with O or something.
Kate, you there?
Yeah, I'm also on the generic Keppra and way less of it than 6 months ago. And now I can say that the levetiracetam was probably what was keeping me so drowsy, sleepy, fatigued all the time, because that's gone. Now that I'm taking next to nothing. It's like half of a 250 milligram in the morning, or no, a quarter of it in the morning, and then just half in the evening. And now a lot of side effects have gone away. Happy about that. What about you, Jeff?
I'm taking lacosamide and Fycompa, and up until probably 2 weeks ago, I was dizzy all the time and couldn't walk in the street. I used a walker wherever I went, and I'm just starting to get over that. I was very unbalanced for a long time. I haven't slept great in a long time, so I can't blame the meds. I mean, I go to sleep, but I'm restless all night. So I don't think that's from the meds. I've always been like that. And that's basically it.
Poster, how's your medications affecting you?
I am on, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so I am on Depakote and I am on Excopri. I'm ambivalent about the Depakote. I'm not quite sure how it affects me, if that makes any sense. And I've kind of been on Depakote for as long as I can remember, which technically is like 3 seconds, but I remembered it. And the Excopri, I'm kind of like Jeff, where I've never slept. And the Excopri is just heaven when mixed with Ambien. And 30 minutes, I am passed out. And I know it's the mixture because if I just take the Excopri, I'm still up all night. If I
Really?
just take the Ambien, I am still up all night. It's the mixture that gets me to sleep and keeps me to sleep.
That
If that
must be
makes any
why I
sense.
sleep so much.
Yeah,
I sleep
it's,
great, but I'm on 4 meds.
yeah, I mean, exactly. It takes a lot to get to that point
As soon as I
of
take my,
sleeping great, and I
as
am
soon as
glad
I,
I do.
yeah, as soon as I take my night meds, it's like I take Excopri, oxcarbazepine, zonisamide, and lamotrigine. And as soon as I take my night meds, like within 30 minutes to an hour, good night.
Let's put it this
And
way. In Duke, they stopped me from having a caffeine, not because they wanted to keep me awake. Well, they usually let you have caffeine, but after 2 cups, they stopped letting me have caffeine because I was too hyper in the bed. I don't know why I thought that, and I'm sorry I spoke over you.
that's okay. No, I just, other than that, like they've kept adding meds with me. They started with the Keppra. That one made me angry and suicidal. Then they put me on the lamotrigine, and I did pretty good with that. Then they added the zonisamide, and then they added the oxcarbazepine, and then they've added the Excopri, and just like pretty much maxed out the dosages on all of them. So now we're getting referred to the next level epilepsy center to be evaluated for surgery.
Should I say congratulations for that, or is that a bad thing?
It's a mixed feelings thing, I guess. I don't know. It's scary. The way I started it, then I put it off, and now I'm starting it again. I put it off partially, like I put it off and put it off and put it off, and then I finally said, okay, I need to do this. So I started it, but then because my life exploded, I put hold of brakes on it, you know. I was like, wait on that referral for now because I got too much going on. I can't deal with that on top of it. And but then I just like sent him an email a couple weeks ago. I'm like, hey, go ahead and start that again. I think I want to pursue that now. So I figure I can at least go up and get the testing done and see what they say.
I hope the best for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hope you heal soon and all that stuff too. Is it what kind of surgery is it again?
Now I have to be assessed for surgery. We don't know.
Uh, okay, we're gonna go back to this antidepressants and seizure meds. A few of these comments. One says Keppra and 2.5 milligrams of Lexapro. It's basically a placebo dose, and it's so small, but between the Keppra and some lifelong things out of my control, it was needed and is helping. I'm on Keppra 500 2 times a day and Zoloft 50 milligrams 1 time a day. Everyone is different. Every med is too, but I've had no problems being on both at the same time. Carbamazepine I take for my seizures is supposed to make the mirtazapine I take for depression less effective, but I haven't noticed it. Got one that says I think I had a seizure. I'm not sure if this is the correct subreddit for this, but I don't know where else to ask. Basically, I believe I had a seizure. I'm 18 years old, and last night while I was high, I want to preface by saying that I have greened out before. And those moments were nowhere near as bad as last night, and I've smoked much more than that before and never had a seizure. So late last night, I was laying in bed after my last hit of my pen. A bit after, I started kicking and started to feel off. I was shaking and felt like I may have just been greened out, but it got worse. I started whole body shaking and my entire body felt everything. I couldn't move. One limb would jerk into a different position and then I would be stuck and shaking again. It was probably like my whole body kept convulsing and I felt like I was gonna throw up everywhere. I didn't feel like I was getting enough air and my heart was beating so hard and fast that I thought it was gonna explode. I kept thinking, oh my God, I have to move. I need to sit up a bit and get help, but I couldn't, no matter how much I wanted to. I may have lasted 5 minutes. I'm really not sure. It slowed down enough that I was able to text my friend just so I wasn't alone. I would then pick up. It would then pick back up again, just as bad as the first time. I hated it. Was in and out for it for like 30 minutes before I calmed down and fell asleep. It happened multiple times during that period. I slept for around 9 hours last night. Whatever happened to me was so scared and I felt awful. I felt like whatever has happened was going to kill me if I didn't stop. Does that sound like a seizure? From smoking pot? I wouldn't say, I don't know.
The only time it
Sounds
ever happened
odd.
right after smoking, I was thinking dehydration.
It sounds really odd, but it doesn't exactly sound like a seizure. He did say the kind of convulsing, but that's hard to point out. Convulsing doesn't exactly mean a seizure that we've all come to find out. Go ahead, Toaster.
I want to preface this by saying cannabis is different for everybody. It's a medication that affects everybody differently. That being said, coincidences happen. You could have just had a breakthrough seizure. Oh, wait, no, they've never had a seizure before, have they? Wait, I can't remember. I'm assuming
They
this
said they think
person,
they had a seizure when they was high.
but they've never had one before.
Doesn't say if the person has or hasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. Doesn't specify if they had epilepsy either, so they're just asking, was this a seizure, I'm guessing.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm sorry, I can't really help unless I see it. I mean, it sounds like one with the convulsing. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
sometimes
grasping
it
for
can be
things
like
now.
maybe a small
Another,
one, but nothing to worry about too much. Maybe it's maybe a small one, but it doesn't exactly say epilepsy. And they did say they were gonna throw up everywhere. That's how I was feeling this morning at like 3 this morning. I had like that impending doom feeling just out of nowhere, and I was asleep. Anybody ever got that in your sleep? Oh, okay. That's the first time I got that in my sleep, and
Yep.
I was going through problems this morning at like 4 a.m. I almost called Jeff and Kate, but I didn't know what to do. Yeah, and then I got up and I found my pen, and that helped. It's crazy how much weed actually helps. Like, people don't understand. Yeah, it helped the nausea go away, and like I said, I wanted to call someone. It was just too early. I got some of the questions. One question from this is, this doesn't sound like a seizure to me. There's typically no memory of the seizures at all. The seizures I've had in the past, I didn't even know happened until after the fact. It sounds like anxiety attack to me. Can cause almost the same symptoms described. However, that being said, trust your body. If you think it was solely related to the weed, then seek medical attention. Not the best to lie to your doctor, but you can keep the story the same without including the smoking part if it will help you seek care. You guys, as doctor, know you smoke? Hey, Jeff, go ahead.
First of all, yes, my doctor knows I smoke. You can't, I mean, it's stupid to hide from your doctor what you're doing. How can he help you if he doesn't know? But one thing maybe you didn't think of, when it's 4 o'clock there, it's 7 o'clock here. And I've been up for hours. So anytime you want to call at 4 o'clock, it's not an issue. And Kate, the same. She's been up.
I was
And
experiencing
Toaster's
something
been
I
up.
didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on, and it was like 3 in the morning. It's crazy, 4 or something like that. But yeah, the weed helped me not throw up.
Yeah. And the other thing is that weed helps.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not help everybody, but it helps everybody that I talk to. And that's all of you.
For the most part.
Right.
I got something. It says undiagnosed and misdiagnosed guilt. I don't know if anyone else has had this, but before, but just feeling like you're faking or symptoms, or wait, hold on. Just feel like you're faking or your symptoms aren't bad enough to be diagnosed, and that's why you got a diagnosis that doesn't seem to fit. I don't know if it's my OCD thinking, but it's what it's makes me feel guilty. Obviously, no, I'm not faking, because like if I was, I would know. I wouldn't be doing when I'm home alone. But then for some reason it feels like it never happens when I'm around people or when it actually matters. Like when I had my video EEG done years ago, or that I didn't just see it as a big deal or act like it's just that good old ADHD zoning out thing. Someone says, I get it. I'm not even formally diagnosed with epilepsy, just in quote seizure-like activity that is being treated with epilepsy meds, which definitely feels impostery. Anybody ever feel impostery?
I wanted auras so bad before that sometimes I wake up feeling tired and confused. I have in the past told family, but then they get worried and start asking, "Are you okay?" every 5 seconds for the rest of the day. So I stopped doing that. Just accepted not having auras and never tell anybody that anything's wrong unless I'm positive or it's after the fact.
I got something. It says, not gonna tell my epilepsy to my workplace. I'm not having any type of seizures for 2 years. My doc is planning on decreasing my dosage. I'm gathering my documents needed for a job right now, and I'm also filling out a form about health. And I'm not gonna tell about my epilepsy. This will be my first job. I'll be an ERP consultant, which is actually not dangerous, and I don't want my epilepsy to cause any problems. I had a bad experience 2 years ago at my internship. I studied mining engineering, and internship was related to that. Got fired in 1 week. I do not suggest not telling your workplace. Sure you guys would agree. Not telling them could be bad. I had a seizure and I fell on the fryer, so it could be that bad. Especially if no one knew, it could have been worse. You guys tell your job about your epilepsy?
I didn't have epilepsy, and I was the owner. So, but I can tell you as a business owner that I would want to know so I could know how to handle an employee if he has a seizure at work. I mean, not everybody is going to want to do that, but that's the way I would have wanted to do it. I mean, somebody has a seizure at work and they don't know what's going on. Who knows what they're going to do?
Right.
But if you're prepared for it, you know exactly how to handle it and exactly what to do and who to call. So I don't advise lying about it, and especially if you lie about it and then you have a seizure at work, you're done.
Yeah. Especially because they're going to be like, you knew and you didn't tell us.
Yep. Right.
Go through a few of these comments. One says, you don't have to tell anyone about your epilepsy, but I would advocate for keeping it a secret either. It can help if something were to happen, people would have more of an idea of what to do, etc. May I ask what happened to you at your last job you got fired from? And this person responded a decent long. Says, I've just started using epilepsy medication, but not diagnosed fully. It was super new situation for me. Also, when I applied for the internship, I was okay, not using any meds, etc. But then when I started and told my Keppra intake to workplace doctor, which already caused some trouble for me because they keep my anyways because I have to work. as intern graduate. P.S. I got diagnosed at my last year because of the mining's true nature. I had to live in a great house in guest house in mining site. Don't focus on the place. It was comfy. Whatever, I had a seizure in my room. Nobody knew. It was like all my seizures in bed or early morning. So after that, I got ready, not intending to say anything to anyone, but I was super emotional, but I know how to balance myself. So I started to cry in the front of the chief engineer and had a genuine talk. And in a few hours, HR fired me and wanted me to get ready until lunch. Seizures brought on by exercise. Is anybody exercising lately? No, I'm not. Actually, I just took a walk. Would that be considered exercise? I take my morning walk. Kind of an exercise, maybe.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose.
I take a little morning walk, about a quarter mile, go down there and come back. Half a mile walk a day with the dog.
I would
usually walk
consider that
every day.
huge walk.
Yeah, like I said, it's about a quarter mile back and then back this way. So I walk a half a mile a day. Got a post that says seizures brought on by exercise. Recently started running again and I seem to have a seizure mid runs. Anyone else have this? I have focal unaware seizures, so I must just stop running. But then I come out of a confused about it where I am and I always think I've lost people until I realize it was a seizure. Some of the posts here says not running, no, but my heart rate gets too elevated and stays elevated, then yes. The chance I will have a seizure does increase. I had one on a treadmill once. Another one says this is a trigger for me, a trigger of mine, just vigorously activity for a sustained period of time. I am able to do interval workouts safely. Go ahead, Toaster.
Hydrate, 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 hydrate,
Hmm.
and electrolytes. Because you're sweating out all your salts. Your medicines, will make those whack. So yeah. Hydrate with sports drinks and normal water. Normal water is tasty too.
Yeah. They got these things. My sister gave me a little packet. And it's just this yellow powder you put in water. It hydrates you. I forgot what it's called. It's like it has a lot of stuff in it, my sister said. And yeah.
It's filled with all bad stuff.
I think it's all good stuff actually. It's to make you hydrated. Let's see where it is. I don't exactly know what it is. Go ahead, Kate.
All right, we've got somebody asking, are my nocturnal seizures changing? Should I be concerned? Been diagnosed with epilepsy for over a decade now. Last MRI showed structural changes from, I'm assuming they meant previous MRIs, and EEGs always show left temporal lobe abnormalities, sometimes right as well. My seizures primarily happen at night, sometimes early morning. Meds have helped stop grand mal seizures, but I still experience complex partial. Have them at night. I wake up and wander post-ictal. Thankfully, partner will guide me back to bed, usually just fall asleep and wake up in the morning feeling like crap. Recently, she has said I've been having seizures in my sleep and it's worrying her. I'm at a loss because obviously I don't remember. I guess I really don't really know what I'm asking. Should this concern me? Why did they all of a sudden change? Are they even seizures or is my partner being overly protective? Okay. And then they finish it up with thank you and, support. I would not assume that that partner is overreacting, because if you're having a seizure, especially the tonic-clonics, you'll be able to feel it. So if you have all those muscles tensing at night, even if you don't remember the seizure, you will feel that it's different than these what sounded like complex partials where they just get up and wander. But yeah, seizures do develop, they change. Mine started off as focals and got to more generalized frequently. So take it up with the doctor, take notes, and definitely address the issue. Try not to ignore it. What do you think, Andrea?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
No problem. This is somebody who's having seizures at night, and they were just asking, should they be worried about it? They only had focals before where they, would kind of zone out and wander off, but now they're having grand mals at night and asking, why would this change happen? Should I even be concerned?
Yep.
I
That's-
think that's a question you should talk to your neurologist about personally.
Anything out of the norm?
Right, I
can-
would, it would be concerning to me. I would definitely be talking to my neurologist about it.
I can kind of explain it real quick before I leave. I have to go pick up my son. Kind of. Why seizures change. As our pathways get fried from the seizures we have previously, we have to find new ways of thinking and reaching information in our heads. Then, because those pathways are fried, sparks have to find different pathways. What's the easiest pathways? The ones that you use the most. And it presents differently because it's running through different parts of your head. It changes. And that's my toaster talk. Peace. I'll be back later.
Be safe. I actually recently found out that I think my seizures are changing, and I literally just found out about it yesterday.
Is it something you
I
suspected for a little bit, but didn't want to look into, or what do you think?
No, it was just I think I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I just assumed that they didn't really, I had a seizure in the car with somebody, and she's like, yeah, you had a seizure. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a seizure. I think at this point, I have talked to her more and gotten more information. It seems that I'm having focal unaware seizures as well, not just the little focal awares occasionally that I thought I was having, because I thought I was having big TCs and occasionally, and then the focal awares more often. But apparently, I'm having the ones where I'm just not even there too, because she's told me about some other ones that she's like, yeah, this happened and you do this. I'm just like, oh, okay. After a big conversation we had yesterday.
Anybody taking gabapentin or ever taking gabapentin?
I
Never
have,
heard of it.
not for seizures, but I took it many, many years ago for nerve pain.
This person is asking for advice. Said I keep getting seizures. I'm on gabapentin for my seizures. It doesn't seem to work. Been on it for a year, plus I'm still getting them. So frustrated. I don't get so frustrated. I don't get the grand mal ones. I call the hiccups. So frustrating. And then they said I tried going on this medication and leaving Capra, but my doctor said Capra is better. Yeah, I never taken gabapentin. Andrea, you got some advice for this person?
I, like I said, I was on that many years ago. That was many years before I even had seizures, and I was taking it for pain. It was for nerve pain in my back. So I don't know that I just I don't remember it. I didn't think it worked all that well either. But like I said, that was for something entirely different.
That's what the drug is for. It's for nerve pain. I don't think people are on that for seizures.
Yeah, I think they prescribe it. It's just like I think with lamotrigine, they prescribe it for bipolar as well.
Mm.
It's a considered a mood stabilizer, and they prescribe it off label for seizures. If I
Okay.
understood what I read correctly, anyway.
100% right.
My mother takes gabapentin and she has diabetes. How does that go?
That's used to treat diabetic neuropathy.
Yeah, it would be for neuropathy.
So
Okay, yeah,
it's the pain associated with that.
heard that word before. So yeah, I think you know what that is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's nerve damage, feet and ankles, am I right?
It can be anywhere. You can get
Oh,
neuropathy
okay.
anywhere. It's just much more common in the extremities, I believe.
Makes sense. I got something. It says medicine. Hello, I'm not looking for medical advice, just wondering. I'm on 400 milligrams a day of lamotrigine and some carbamazepine and Keppra. Every couple of months or so, I get dizzy. I get dizzy as shit, like I'm a baby deer that can't walk. I stumble like a drunk person. Sometimes I think it's correlation of not having anything in my system, food or water, and shitty sleep. Anyone else experience this fun zone? This fun time zone? It's intermittent.
What medication is this?
Carbamazepine, Keppra, and lamotrigine.
That's quite interesting. Carbamazepine is related to oxcarbazepine, isn't it?
I think it's the same thing. Not 100% sure.
I noticed that if I take my like after they started prescribing me the oxcarbazepine,
That's what this is. Oxcarbazepine. That's
right?
carbamazepine. That's that. This is oxycarbazepine.
I
It's a
think they're like in the
derivative.
same family, but not the same thing.
Not taking it.
Once they started prescribing me the oxcarbazepine, if I take it like in the morning when I take it on an empty stomach, or if I take it in the evening before I've had dinner, I will pretty much get like this morning, I felt like I was stoned out of my mind. I could not see straight, double vision, holding onto the walls to walk.
It's a side effect,
Yeah,
and it's a
it's about
severe
it.
one.
It hits about an hour after I take my pills, and it lasts about an hour, hour and a half. Then it goes away.
Does your
Oh,
seizure increase in number?
No, it's helped my seizures tremendously.
Oh,
oh, that's good.
impressive.
I'm gonna go through some of these
I
comments. The first one said I had this happen to me not too long ago for a few months. I made sure to write everything down as it would happen again out of nowhere every day or every once a month or every in between. My solution: eating. I always ate breakfast. However, it wasn't enough. I would skip lunch because I never felt hungry, but I still don't feel hungry anywhere between 1 to 5. Now between 1 to 5 ever, but I force feed myself. I actually have an alarm on my phone just to eat. I will forget. I now make it a point to eat enough breakfast, actually eat lunch, and then I've always eaten dinner. That might make it better for you, though it might not. It says, odd question. Has anyone on debit code experienced extreme mood swings with debit code? I mean, almost bawling 1 minute and fuming the next for most minor things? Or is it just me and everything is just coming to my head? I mean, I realize I am a red-blooded American male. We bottle crap up until it explodes, but this is ridiculous.
Well, we got somebody asking here. My doctor recently prescribed me a new medication because I started experiencing breakthrough seizures again due to the side effects, dizziness, nausea, numbness, and unusual smells. He wants to switch medications again. However, he insists that I make this change at work. I'm personally worried that a stressful environment combined with going off lacosamide, which is known to potentially trigger seizures during withdrawal, could worsen my condition and cause me to have another seizure at work. Despite my concerns, he refuses to allow me to switch medications at home. What do you guys think? And oh, my doctor is just a neurologist, not an epileptologist. The first question or the first comment here is what I'm thinking. What country are you in? And how do they not have laws to protect you against advice like that? I've never heard of medical changes be suggested to take place in the workplace.
Yeah,
What do
that
you,
is very odd.
I could see why you're switching meds, but definitely don't do it at work.
Want to go through those comments?
Yeah, somebody is saying that I'm on medical leave right now from work, trying new meds just like you, switching to Xcopri from lacosamide. And this is a comment coming from the US under FMLA. They're suggesting that bring it up to your doctor and find out about medical leave and make sure you exhaust all those resources before ever making changes in the workplace. I'm happy to share more about how I took leave from work. Yeah, you initially sound perfectly reasonable. So they're giving more comments too about like trust your gut on this one. The poster replied back, I'm currently on FMLA, but my employer wants an update from my doctor. As soon as I provide them with a note indicating that my restrictions have been removed, they'll tell me to come back to work. I take one medication. My seizures were fairly well controlled, and I went 2 years without having one. But I experienced a breakthrough seizure recently. This was not due to any vitamin deficiency. Now they got prescribed a second medication, but the side effects are extremely severe, so they're just planning on switching to a different one. And the poster saying they're worried about the stress at work on top of a switch and just more likely to have one at the stressful job. Yeah, I can attest to FMLA not covering changes, but when the job called the ambulance, they let me take a couple days off and I didn't get fired. So you might have to push it, hope not, but that has worked for some of us. Do you guys have any other advice when you know you just feel like you shouldn't be working, but you don't have any time saved up?
No,
Yeah.
I had to quit my job. I was forced to, so my family, not the job. So there's that.
Yeah, I haven't worked in a very long time, so I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, so most of the comments agree, just that this is a bad justification. It doesn't make any sense for your employer to be willing to put you at risk. I wish they would give more detail about what they did for a living, but either way, if it's stressful, your health comes first. It should be priority.
Well, and it
Anybody,
depends on is it a stress issue or is it a safety issue? Because I mean, if they're doing something where if they have a seizure and it puts people's lives at risk, that's a lot different than whether they screw up somebody's paperwork.
now they're saying I work in a factory surrounded by heavy machinery. Coworkers are great, but I have concerns about safety near the machines. So this is a person who the way the company sees it, they're probably going to end up hurting themselves before somebody else. But that could easily shut something down and inhibit production. I don't see why employers
I don't,
don't care
why
more
would
about this.
they shouldn't expect them to put their self on the line.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Dizziness.
that's out of line to me.
Absolutely. Definitely not justified.
So
I wouldn't think they would want the liability of it, especially because then if he gets hurt and and they've been notified that he had this beforehand, they can get in so much trouble.
And here's
yeah,
somebody else who's saying that, it's hard for people who don't have seizures to understand. Trying not to sound rude, but in my life, seizures are something I've come to expect, have developed a good relationship with people who knew first aid and how to help me. You may have to push for your coworkers to learn first aid, but this is how somebody else, it sounds like in a similar workplace, actually had to adapt to the employer not being willing to work with them if you can't get a doctor's note. And at this point, the doctor sounds like they're not always on your side since they make these prescription changes. Does your doctor always prescribe the titration and things like that to take like at least a month? I mean,
I
that's what it's been in my experience.
It depends on the pills, honestly. Some of them I've had, it's been like over a couple of weeks, and others it's been, a month or so.
when I switched from Keppra to lamotrigine, the titration for that was
That was complicated.
yeah, it was odd. It was like take one of these and take one of these, and then start taking more of these.
I remember that one because the pharmacist called me and he's like, I just want to go over this with you to make sure you understand this and how it's written. I'm like, okay.
Right, I can read directions.
They're an awesome pharmacy. But
Hey, so for the poster, I mean, more self-advocacy at this point. They could always come to the doctor with a suggestion of part-time. You know, only work from 7 to 12 and then spend the rest of your day at home. So, you know, that second dose is maybe wearing off by the time you take the second one or your first dose of the next day. And it's weird. They all have like 12-hour lifespans. So either way, you can't just complete a transition at home or in the workplace. So they definitely have to just advocate in this one. Get the doctor on your side. Be safe.
28-year-old NB. What does NB mean? Anybody know? They lost me. The 20-year-old. Huh?
said I'm too old for that.
I think I am too. I 28-year-old NB had it might be for non-binary. Okay. 28-year-old MB had my first seizure. I was diagnosed with front temporal lobe epilepsy in 2018. I don't believe it was really my first seizure. My seizures are mostly in my sleep. I've woken up with what I now recognize as postictal symptoms occasionally most of my life. They range from disruptive to catastrophic, and I've lost multiple jobs and relationships because of my health and issues related to it. Had to move home from Michigan to New York and stay with the family because of it. I do have some options. I'm a candidate for a very expensive elective brain surgery implant that would be likely to end seizures, though there is some chances that they would continue, and I qualify for disability. Though it has been incredibly difficult to receive in 2 years of application. I feel like it's put my life on hold when I tell any jobs that aren't minimum wage BS that I'm epileptic with no college degree. It feels like they may as well be shredding my application right there, and even half on the minimum wage aren't much better. My social life is grim. I can't count a number of people I talk to on one hand, and it always feels like I moat of them are just concerned about me. I think it's supposed to put most, say. ANS is close. Yeah. Feels like most of them are just concerned about me, and I don't really know if I blame them. Yeah, this person, as you see, they say their life is on hold. They're looking for advice, you guys. My life is kind of, I wouldn't say on hold. It's kind of, shit, it's been on hold for a long time. Yeah, just gotta roll with the punches.
I would
Put in
advise
front
that
of
they
you.
don't focus on that label. Don't think of your life as on hold just because you don't actively maybe have a routine. It's like reaching goals and doing things of that nature because you're alive, you're still kicking. You got something going on. If you want to work on something else, then get going. One step at a time. You can still live a different life if you work towards it. This is
Right.
a new diagnosis, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just one step at a time. Start taking notes, and that'll help for more than seizures.
They also said they're new to it too. That could be scary.
In that case, join us here.
Lamictal withdrawal, Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Okay, can you tell me what that is? I think I tapered too quickly on Lamictal because I started feeling panicky, but a bit paranoid along with derealization. I also started feeling weirdly big, and objects started feeling smaller and far away, which was horrible. The door frame looked smaller. My phone looked smaller. and I looked it up, and these are the symptoms of Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Has anyone had this happen to them? Was I disassociating super bad? It felt like I was in a tiny house. I've heard of it, but never looked into even what it was. But that's really interesting. Alice in Wonderland syndrome. I mean, the name is interesting. I don't think it'd be a good thing to have. So it does sound horrible.
Usually to get a diagnosis, something has to be consistent and I guess bad enough to kind of earn that diagnosis in my experience, and especially things that they use in children's conditions, because it looks like Alice in Wonderland. It's a neurological disorder, distorting perceptions. So I can see why they're not sure if it's just disassociation or if it's actually like full-blown syndrome. But when they use anything in children's conditions like Epstein-Barr virus, things that children get, they definitely tend to make sure you have to like meet qualifications to have that. So that would start with disassociation, but again, like, write it down. I guess you can't really take a picture in this case, but do whatever you can to communicate to the professionals how long this is happening, how bad it is, and see if they're going to change your treatment. Because we all know that medications can play a part in distortion. Things making things look bigger and smaller and just seeing lines. It sounds like a trip.
Peter,
Yeah.
do they distort their own size as well?
Yeah. I also started feeling weirdly big, and objects started feeling smaller and far away.
Hmm.
That's scary at times, I guess I would say. Yeah, things are smaller and further away. Amygdala withdrawal. So I wonder if I take Lamictal, but yeah, tapering off of it sounds interesting. It's not something I'm gonna do, but I wonder about the Alice in Wonderland syndrome. It just sounds interesting. I'm not gonna do it, so yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
Sounds like one where you get too lost though, because it's not just visual. You can hear things differently too. Imagine, something drops or somebody's walking by outside and you hear like feet shuffling on the concrete, but it gets way loud. That I think that would be creepy. Yeah, it's way more than that, and it's perceptual thing. So if you go to play a record and you're reaching and you still can't reach the record because it's just too far away, that's your perception. Things like that can change, and if you have the syndrome, from what I understand, it can hit any time, and you never know how long you're going to be in it.
I
The
got
symptoms
something.
are usually temporary. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. We'll finish.
They were just wrapping it up saying symptoms are usually temporary. The condition is named after Alice and how they experience unusual changes in size in the book Alice in Wonderland. So it's definitely size has something to do with it. Like one of
I
the
gotta
main
watch that show or movie or whatever it is.
The book is always better.
You've
Yeah, I was
never
supposed to.
seen Alice in Wonderland?
Probably as a kid. Not that I can remember like any bits and pieces. I don't even think I know what she looks like.
You guys remember if the live action one is worth it? I don't remember how that one went.
I haven't seen all of those.
Oh, hey. God, but it says something is wrong and doctors don't listen. Hello, I have non-epileptic seizures, but there's activity in my brain. It says I have non-epileptic seizures, but there's activity in my brain. Just it's not a lot. So my doctor says I'm in a gray zone. I've been having very, very frequent seizures, and I feel something is wrong. I've been having very concerning symptoms recently, and I've been been to the ER, but they just discharged me because they're non-epileptic. I'm scared and I don't know what to do. I feel something is very wrong. It's Sunday and I'm trying to hold out, just keep myself calm as possible. The doctors aren't listening and they're looking for advice from us. I was gonna say get a second opinion, but if the doctors aren't listening, find somewhere else to get a second opinion. And a third, fourth, whatever's necessary. I'm all for multiple opinions. First comment here says, get a referral to a neurologist who can arrange a long-term EEG. They'll admit you to a hospital for 3 to 5 days and keep you hooked up. Hopefully, it'll catch some activity. Another comment says, how do they know that they are non-epileptic seizures? Damn doctors, it took me 5 years to find out. A good neurologist. If you feel like something bad is going on, try going to an emergency room. Great idea.
If you can, go to an epileptologist.
I hear that a lot lately.
Makes a difference.
What seizure medication do you recommend for a woman? I'm currently on Depakote, and while I haven't had too much of an issue with weight gain, maybe 5 pounds total since I started in May. I noticed that it's been messing around with my menstrual cycle. I didn't get my period at all in July, and it just came super late into August as well. Also, my hair is starting to fall out like crazy. I noticed today that while I was washing my hair, it was coming out in clumps. It sucks because so far this medication has worked really well and keeping my seizures at bay. I went from having a seizure almost every day to not having one since July 4th, and that was because I was dumb and looked at a bunch of fireworks and sparklers all at once. So if anyone has any recommendations for medication for women, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I kind of have. I was on Depakote and my menstrual cycle was almost absent. And after I started taking Depakote, I started having a regular menstrual cycle, and my hair also started falling really bad, like I really had cancer. And after a year or so, I end up in hospital being admitted because I had some problem with my glucose in my blood, and they discovered I had B12 deficiency and folic acid, and that was the reason my hair was falling. So I don't believe it's the medication the reason, but the medication might affect the B12 and folic acid in your body, and also it might affect your bones.
So what did they come to the conclusion in your case that all of the, abnormal symptoms were because of the medications, or did they pick and choose which ones could and which ones couldn't? That's another frustrating thing about doctors.
I had a status epileptic in hospital, and my blood sugar was extremely low, like under 17, and they have no idea why they could not raise my blood sugar up to 80, and they keep administrating me pure glucose through IV, and after they gave it to me in oral dose, and they say you might be diabetic or have some issues, and I end up going in the specialized hospital for diabetes, and they run some blood tests, and there I found out. In Romania, the system or the medical system is completely different
Say
At
that
from
least it
again.
sounds like they're trying to get to the answer.
yeah.
You said completely what?
The Romanian medical system is completely different from the American one. So
Yeah.
basically, everything is for free if you are employed or you're a student. So everything is covered, but some medication might be half covered from your insurance or fully covered or not. It's depending. So if you're chronically ill, all the treatment is fully covered. And
So when all
also,
those tests like dead ended, did they suggest that maybe doing those tests at a different time of the month for you would make a difference?
can you repeat?
When those tests, it sounds like, didn't really reveal why your body was having so much trouble processing the glucose, did they suggest or anybody want to like keep you inpatient to see if it would make a difference at a different time of the month?
No, they put me to wear Dexcom sensor on my body for 90 days, and they discover I was completely sensitive to citrus and honey, and there was a reason why my blood sugar was spiking up to 300 to 40 in like 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
Wow, that
And
must
that's
have
why
been a lot
I
to go
was
through.
having seizure. And after
Okay.
that, I was instructed to not consume any more fruit and honey, and my blood sugar was stabilized eventually. But the problem occurred again. They were like, okay, there is something more. And they continued to monitor me, and they realized that I was not able to get my B12 vitamin through injections because I was allergic to it.
And that's how they discovered the allergy.
I discovered by myself because I started having a rash on my body. My spleen was getting bigger and my kidneys were not working. And eventually I realized maybe I was having a DRESS syndrome. And also I discovered that the DRESS syndrome was caused also by the zonisamide I was taking.
So you've actually had that DRESS syndrome take place when they prescribed two medications that actually induce.
Actually, I was taking zonisamide for almost 2 years, but the firm, which was I don't know how to say it, was delivering in my country, decided not to do it anymore. The ASI production or the product, and I was getting from German firm, and when I eventually change or switch on the different, my body did not accept anymore the new provider of the medication. And the medication itself did not work anymore.
That's suspicious. You think it was actually the same medication or coming from a
Yes,
different place? It definitely could
same
be produced
medication,
different.
same substance, but it did not work for me anymore. It was only right now, from what I know, it's only in USA
Hmm.
available, the original one. Because right now I taking for hard capsule. It's, I don't know how to say it. I mean, you can
Yeah,
see
it sounds like from
it
a
here.
brand name to a generic thing.
Yeah, it's a new brand. But it's not working for me. And I
Yeah,
believe
medication
many
changes
of
are
us
can definitely be inconvenient.
happened the same.
Um,
Once
from
again, glad you got through it.
Yes.
from Andrea and Kate. I was asking the thing also about you guys didn't get a moment in when the person asked about good medication for women.
I really don't know what to recommend, honestly.
I don't recommend any of them.
Right. It's all kind of you it's gonna it's pretty personal to each person, I think.
Well, I think a big factor is if you plan on becoming pregnant, then you're
Yeah.
definitely going to want to make the priority of, how much of the medication will definitely get to the fetus and, breast milk and all that.
I had a grandchild before I had seizures, so I'm not too worried about having more kids at this point in my life.
At this point, even if it threw off your menstruation, whatever.
I don't have that anymore.
Oh, bless you. Well,
It is lovely.
I bet.
Any of you guys having focals?
4 times a month.
I am not.
I think mine stopped because of you.
Me?
Yeah,
Shout out
Really?
to Nature's Mate.
possible. I started taking some B12, like you
B12 by
said.
nature's made.
Yep, like you said, and I had focals that day that before I took it, but I haven't had one since then. But I wasn't having them like daily, so it's only been a couple of weeks. We'll see
Shout
how,
out to nature's made.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
It's been about 4 months for me. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Um, yeah, so the post says, how often do y'all have focal aware seizures? I have them about once a month, maybe 2 per month. I don't stay on top of my medication. How often do y'all have them? Is once a month a lot? When do I talk to other epileptic? It sounds like they have way less, maybe 1 or 2 per year, but that's including various types of seizures. How often do you guys have focal aware seizures? Someone here says the first comment says, I have one every other day on average. I don't mind them too much.
Mine have varied quite a lot.
Someone says every day I have severe TBI and EEGs all show seizure activity all day long. Some days it's more noticeable than others. Someone says an average of 5 days a month. That's why I always say, like Jeff tells me, put one foot in front of the other because things could be such worse. Things could be way worse, especially when we're reading. Someone else says, I have one every day. Don't mind me. I'm sick of clusters. So sick of this benzo break. I still have almost a month to see the epileptologist. And since mid-July, I've had maybe 5 seizure-free days. Just in August, maybe 3 seizure-free days. Maybe 6 days with no clustering. I'm blessed. Not all my focals are doom panic-inducing, but having about 8 focal seizures a day for a month tires you out, especially ones I rather have. The only thing that bugs me is if to think or move, but then they can they can take hours away to recover. But as long as I'm not taking any benzos, right? Oh, because these are more likely than originating from schizenophilia cleft. I still need an SEEG to officially diagnose these. So, yay, sorry, sick of seizures. suggestions. I don't take
That's the
benzos,
point.
and I'm sorry you're going through clusters because I went through that earlier when I started doing this. Yeah, was not fun. It is fun going back and looking at it on tape though. First comment says, I can't even imagine focal awares are so scary. Have you told your neurologist the clustering? Explain how you can go no longer keep this up and it's interfering with your ability to do your job. If you are a mom or dad, tell them you're feeling uncomfortable holding your kids because you feel like you might drop. That is what I told my neurologist when they tried to take me off of the benzo. Any of you guys taking benzos right now? Personally, I'm not. Which one are you taking?
It's the one I stopped taking, so I can't remember it anymore. Started with a C.
Clobazam?
I can't remember it anymore. Yes,
That-
and that's the one that definitely gets to the fetus, gets in the milk and all that, and that I felt really guilty about for, the whole, like, last 3 years basically. But at this point, it is what it is, and I know for the rest of my life, I want to do my best to just let the RNS do its job and get off the meds because I really feel like they just shorten our lives. So do what we can do, and I'm glad to stop taking medication at this point. For what they posted though, if you can prove that the benzos don't work, I think it was 3 medications that have to fail before most insurance companies will accept a recommendation for surgical evaluation, just to see which surgery would even be an option if you have one. But that's the direction I would go in at that point when you really feel like you hit a dead end with any seizure medications.
I am taking midazolam, diazepam, and Xanax.
Recreational? I'm just kidding.
No. No, actually, I'm taking midazolam. I'm taking only in case of emergency. Diazepam, I'm taking only through IV in emergency room, and Xanax, I'm taking only if I feel my aura coming. But I usually don't, so I'm taking before sleep, so I don't get seizure in the right time, because I usually start to vomit.
I got one here and it says focal aware clustering for weeks. So not sure if anyone here has had this experience. Normally, I have nocturnal focal aware and they are very inconsistent. I'm very functional. I'm a very functional epileptic in terms of drive to work, etc. I've had epilepsy for over 30 years, but in a rare case, I get really sick, bad flu, or I have my meds reduced for a procedure, then my body has a level back out. I typically will start a cluster. It happens maybe every year or every other year, depending on what's going on, and it's brutal. My clusters are focal aware and they last for seconds. I'll be totally aware, but my side will jerk and I can't speak for about a blip. Then I go limp, but repeat all day long, and they can be accomplished by Todd's paralysis since my seizures are on my right side. They last for weeks and very slowly get less and less, 30 a day to 28 a day, etc. Then the recovery from brain fog is weeks. My body usually feels like it's been hit by multiple Mack trucks. Breakthrough meds are not working because of my high tolerance to clobazam. Does anyone else experience this, and what helped? Clustering for weeks.
For
Never been through it personally.
for almost 90 days.
19 days.
Yeah, I during EEG for 40 minutes I had 4 seizures, and I was not aware of being in a seizure. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm having seizure, and I start realizing that every time I had a pain in my forehead, or I felt my a tingling in my legs. I was having a seizure, and per day I was having around 30, maybe 40 seizures. I was kinda active. So
That's
yeah,
crazy. So what actually brought that to an end? And just real quick, did you say 90 or 19 days?
science 2nd June. So 19 days.
Wow.
No, not 19, 90,
Wow.
almost 100 around that.
Yeah. So what finally brought those 3 months to an end?
Um, they gave me a new medication, Oxton. Ox, ox, I have no idea how to pronounce it. So
Some
it's
oxy.
Cenopamat.
Excapri.
Oxcapria, yeah. But I have no idea what to expect from this medication. I'm kind of scared to increase the dose. Every time I'm increasing, I start to feel nauseous and I have a severe headache, and I'm not sure because what to do because Excopri is um, literally um, stopping the effect of Xanax. So I'm like, I need Xanax, but I also need that medication. I don't know what to do. So it's
And they can't tell so far which one is more important or which one might be doing more damage long term.
um for now I'm doing fine. So I'm still on titration, so I have no idea how long it will take, but if this medication fails again, then I don't know what to do because my epilepsy is unoperable. I mean, it can be operated. It's reaching the center of my hippocamp. So I believe I will just experience the life without the treatment and see what happens. Russian roulette, I believe.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. But either way, you're definitely taking notes for yourself, and at least you know that when you need treatment, you know exactly what you're taking because it sounds like the doctors don't always pick up on the medication interactions if you've already had
Um,
stress.
right now in my country, the best doctors, the the three best doctors in the country, two of them said I don't have epilepsy. Only one said I have epilepsy, and one of my doctors said I need to stop my medication, which was zonisamide. And after I start lowering the dose, I start having faster seizures. And after that, I told her that I'm not okay. She said, okay, you need to do a EEG. I did an EEG. I fall asleep, so I was completely fine. She says, you're fine. You don't have anything wrong with your brain. So she says, you're good to go. It's only in your head.
And that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
So a lot of your journey is definitely finding the right providers that'll even believe you.
Yeah. It's fine. As
But have
long
you
as
ever
I'm
been able to
healing.
record a focal?
I actually don't want to record one of those. It's kind of embarrassing.
It might be the thing to get the doctor's attention though. Anybody who's around you, if they know
Actually,
you're not there, then start
yeah,
recording.
but during the EG, the doctor was right next to me because he insisted on being right next to me because there was no video EG, so he insisted on being right next to me to see what is going on. and he saw what I was doing.
It's just hard to believe that any of of your providers at this point can brush it off as you're fine.
Yeah, but I still don't understand how she can say I'm fine after she saw me having a grand mal in front of her, and also she three, three, 3 years ago she became my doctors because I was sent her from the emergency room to her because she was the greatest epileptologist in the country. She's teaching at the medical university in our country, epileptology. So, and I was sent to her because I was having a epileptic status in the hospital. So I still don't understand. At first, he said, "Yeah, you definitely have epilepsy," and maybe 1 year. She says, "Nah, don't have."
So was this doctor who actually saw you because of status epilepticus trying to say that that was a one-time event by the end of your
Uh,
treatment, that you didn't actually have epilepsy?
She saw multiple seizure of mine. She even admitted on her hospital section because she was kind of the chief of the neurology in the
Department.
hospital. Yeah, the department. So a fly on my wall. So sorry. Um, she was like, "No, you don't have epilepsy. You're just stressed or emotional. You're faking." And I'm like, how can I fake a seizure and broke my collarbone and scapula? How? How can I fake that? And find out after 2 weeks that I have a broken bone inside me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, people
Well,
are starting to fake them and stuff, so they gotta making it hard for us to get checked.
Yeah, I found out there are people who make pranks on having seizures. I don't find funny.
Me either.
It's ugly, especially because there are people here who believe having epilepsy, you are possessed by evil spirits, or you are worse, drunk or drugged or whatever.
You get that here every now and then. Not every case, but too often, I'd say.
Yeah, I got even a case where they bite my fingers or put needles in my or try to open my jaw. Guess what? You can't. I bite one half of my tongue. I'm missing a piece of my tongue.
I got something here though. Says advice required. Hey guys, I'm 17, about to turn 18 this year. Recently got a seizure while playing Valorant. This has happened to me 3 times. First and second ones while playing Dark Souls 2. The first and second ones were weird because it was like my vision was cut off. I was unconscious and didn't remember it happened. The fainting and seizing. My parents were in shock, and I was taken to a neurologist after 4 months of seizures. Happened, and the doctors did an MRI and an EEG. Tests both came back normal, and he had said I didn't have any problem. I wrote some medications in case of repeats, supposedly to be to be used forever and was expensive, and my parents left it at that. The recent seizure happened this month. I don't know what's the cause, as I've been playing both Dark Souls and Valorant for years, and there was no problem. My parents think that I'm going too much into game. There's only one signal that was occurring, and it was a partial vision. Please let me know if anything or everything has been relatable to this issue, and how can I hope and playing video games, it doesn't occur again. I play video games for hours till sun comes up sometimes. Never bothered me, but everybody's body is different. Don't take my advice for it. And then you're 17, you have to listen to your parents. I don't have to listen to my parents. I can play till sun up any day, 5 days a week if I wanted to. I
When
don't
you were
suggest,
17, did you listen to your parents?
uh, mm, there wasn't
We
much to
both know
listen
the
to.
answer to that.
I wasn't like, I guess there wasn't much to listen to. Like my mom, I was just kind of more privileged than I knew I was. There wasn't any rules. I wasn't doing anything, just living. There wasn't anything I've ever done wrong, like get in trouble. That I could, as a teenager now, especially at 17. One says, stop playing. The other one says, who cares? Wow. You're by yourself, maybe in a car or in the shower. Oh no, that's something different.
Well, on that one, if they're not sure that it's what's that, photosensitive, is that the only reason that a video game would trigger it? Because that's something else to look into. Another reason to bring it up to the doctor. When I'm playing video games, this happens, but if I'm, under the fluorescent lights and anytime in a retail environment, it doesn't seem, or at a concert, fire, it's none of that triggers your seizures, then maybe you're not totally or photosensitive, but maybe just has something to do with how close you are to the screen even. That's something you're going to want to get the answer to, especially since seizures change if you're not controlling them and making it better. In my experience, they get worse.
Says I have a rare subtype of focal epilepsy called aura continua. It caused me to have constant aura 24/7, nonstop at all. My baseline is lingering aura, not as powerful, but it's there, sitting there slowly eating at me. It has all the traits of an aura episode, except less potent. But I can still have episodes where my baseline spikes and I get a feeling like I'm floating on water or in space and deja vu. But my biggest concern is that I'm on lamotrigine for a couple of weeks and I'm now at 150 milligrams, which is really fucked up with me recently. I usually feel emotional detachment and everyone around me. This causes me to not feel deep emotions for people at all. This mainly targets my girlfriend quite a bit. I feel emotionally detached, and with this detachment, my brain feels in the wild. My brain fills in the void with doubt and panic. It says to me, what if you really don't love her? Oh, wow. And what if this doesn't work out at all? I call this the state of mind, in quote, detachment zone, where my epilepsy takes over and causes emotional detachment from a person I care most about. That being my girlfriend. The other side is what I call my, in quote, grace period, where my lamotrigine ends up stabilizing my emotions and randomly start crying, talking to her. I'm not sad, but tears just start flowing and flowing, like my brain is trying to get my emotions out through mental ways, through physically ways instead of mental ways. Gifts, I spend so much time with her, and whenever we can, we have a clear work schedule. We spend time together. There are short circuiting. I just came here to ask all you guys if this happens to your relationships. This is mental torture. I can't deal with this much longer. I just need my brain to stabilize soon. I feel this person. I feel for you all the way. I've been told I'm not ready for emotional attachment. Been told that a few times, and I didn't feel like people said they didn't feel emotionally attached. Like I was just kind of distant in a relationship. But that also comes with the with the arousal concept, like don't have the energy for it, or the most people in a relationship are gonna expect it. And then we're young, and yeah, she was like, no, something's going on. You're taking these pills, and she didn't feel like I want her or emotionally attached. And I was on the Lamictal like this person is saying, so yeah, I feel you. Those urges aren't there, and that could hurt a person's feelings when they feel like you don't want them. Anybody else taking Lamictal and had emotional detachments?
My surprising emotional detachments happened when I was on 3 pills. It was carbatrol and two other, like Fycompa, I think was in the carbatrol days. Vimpat, I think was the other one. But yeah, when I was taking the most medications, that's when I noticed the most side effects, and that's the only time in my life when the seizures were under control, but they weren't. I was still having focals, just not telling anybody. And the side effects outweighed the benefits of all the medications, in my opinion, because those side effects really did prevent me from being who I wanted to be. As far as, mother, partner, all that, I did not feel like I was myself, and it was because of these medications. And the titration periods take so long that it's like I forgot how I felt in the months prior, and that was what kept me on this like dangerous cocktail for so long. What do you think, Jeff?
It's interesting, Kate, because I'm on 2 of those medications, and I've never been more emotional in my life. I cry at everything. I see people on TV that are sick, and I cry.
Same here. Over emotional sometimes. I don't get it. Like, I could see someone do something successful, and for some reason my eyes just start tearing. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just excited for this person, but
Right.
why am I always crying over everything? Yeah, or like certain stuff like First 48, I can't. I cry when I see someone's mom cry. That's hard, especially in situations like that. Can't watch a mother cry. Yeah.
Well, in this case, I mean, I was in my 20s, and the lady thing might have something to do with it. So I was definitely more distant, though. My emotions more felt like they got shut off when I was on the Fycompa and those other two, carbatrol and something.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Felt like my emotions just turned off. I felt like I was being a good boyfriend, but I felt like it was just there was something missing. And she finally said it in the end. She felt like something's missing.
Yeah, everything felt like more of a chore. There wasn't really joy in, the usual family stuff. But
Okay.
now we know to be more advocates for ourselves, especially in
Right.
medical care.
Yeah. So that was one post. Yeah, love to doubt. That sucks. Hormonal seizures. How do you girls know? I started writing things down that appears to be related to, end quote, my period. Any girls with the same? And if so, how do you guys deal with it? One comment says, I'm currently working with my neuro and OBGYN for this. For some people, estrogen makes a seizure-friendly environment. Keep tracking your neuro symptoms in a period tracker because that does help with data. I'm in the early stages of being on progesterone, which does help some people. Another comment here says, here, catamenial epilepsy. I have PCOS too. So instead of bleeding, I'm just struggling with my epilepsy. LOL. What do I stay super hydrated and only go out when I'm guaranteed an immediate ride home when I start feeling end quote off. However, typically don't go out at all, just try to keep my mind as stable as possible. I am also upfront about it with my professor and my manager, so they know my situation and don't get on me for missing my shifts and classes. Good luck. Yes, my period is actually a trigger. It usually happens a day or two before I start. They don't give me any insight on what to do about it, but definitely tracked it. Kate, any advice for that person? Because I have no anything.
I agree with the journaling. If there's other apps out there that ask more detailed questions, that's what did help me in the beginning, because I was just writing down dates, nothing but dates of the cycle. And when I noticed that how I felt in the days leading to and just after, it was that whole week, not just the 3 or 4 days, that made a difference, especially when it's not regular. So the more information that you have over a longer period of time, you'll get closer to getting an answer for yourself. That can make a difference.
I missed the whole question, but what I heard, I think I might have some relevance to. Can you read me the question?
Summarize.
Yeah, you can just summarize what.
It says, how do you girls know? I started writing things down. It appears to be related to my end quote period. Any girls with the same? And if so, how do you guys deal with it?
I'm going off of what you were saying, Kate. I have an app that I use. It's called Dailyo, that you can kind of customize to track whatever you want, and you could put that as one of, if you wanted to put your cycle in there as one of the things that you track. You can put seizures in there, you can put symptoms in there, you can put your diet, you can put the weather, you can put your sleep, and then it has the I can't think of the word, the statistics. You can go in and it will even like make the statistics and compare stuff for you. It's
And this
awesome.
was the one you told us about before, where you can set your own criteria. So soon after a seizure, you can go through and check them off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes, this is the one that I was looking forward to you mentioning again. Thank you.
I got one. It says, does Keppra make you nauseous? I was on 1,000 milligrams twice a day and had a seizure, so they upped my dose to 1250 twice a day. I've been very nauseous lately, and I'm wondering if Keppra has anything to do with it. Does anyone else feel nauseous after taking Keppra?
There's been a lot of times that I've had symptoms for things and then they go away after a little bit. So
I got something here. It says, sometimes I've had mine reduced to 1,500 milligrams, ER to 100 to 500, and it's changed my life a lot. And in all honesty, Keppra would make me super tired and a little nauseous. Someone else said, only for a couple of weeks. After 4 to 6 weeks, it faded away. I'm at 4,000 milligrams a day. My stomach feels like a war zone. Going for an EEG later this month to hopefully finally change the meds. I didn't get nausea with Keppra, but I live with chronic nausea. Hope to get relief soon. Again, nausea. Nausea with meds. I'm currently on 350 of lamotrigine, 375 of Depakote, and 2,000 milligrams of Keppra daily, spaced out between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And I don't eat something within 10 minutes of taking my meds, I get super nauseous and can't eat until like dinner time. Does this happen to anyone else? I'm on lamotrigine, and I wouldn't say spaced out for that many hours because I'm usually here and I'm not spaced out. So, and yeah, when I don't eat, I feel good. I'm usually never eating because I don't remember if I ate or not, or I'm not hungry. So there's that.
But you can live like that, because you got to know over time, chronic nausea is a dehydration, malnutrition. Living underweight gives you problems long term. Kidneys, inside, lots of digestive issues. So
I'm on a
that's the scary
specific
part about
spot.
that one.
I'm on a water diet.
Not good enough. You know it.
How do
AJ,
you
what you
make
got to
your
say about that?
how do
Okay, go
you
ahead,
make
AJ.
yourself eat when you're not like you don't want to eat? I don't feel hungry at all.
Yeah, I don't
And
have eating
I
cues
drink
like,
Coke.
to tell me you're hungry. My body just never says you're hungry. It just
right,
goes
I don't
on and
either.
on.
You set reminders on your phone, and in the context there, remind yourself that you don't want to be more of a burden. So come up with something. I mean, a handful of strawberries, like regular stuff ready to go.
How
So
about I
it's
order some
not hard.
sushi?
But Kate,
Or
if
you
you're
drink
not
Coca-Cola.
hungry, you can eat. It doesn't make you feel good.
The thought of trying to swallow food literally makes me want to vomit right now.
Right.
So not even a smoothie. You can't go for those protein shakes.
Nope.
I'm drinking an
Nothing.
energy drink right now.
Mm.
That's a stimulant. That's not something that's going to substitute nutrition.
I gotta
You
stay
can
up
drink
past
energy
7 o'clock tonight.
If your
I have to
body
stay up
needs
till
sleep,
10. I take my pills
okay.
at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., so I have to stay up till 10. Yeah.
I will eat
AJ,
Maybe you
dinner.
can take them at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's how I take them.
Does that contribute to you getting, better nutrition, you think?
What?
You're
Just
asking
taking
me?
them at a different time of the day?
No, I'm still malnutrition. I'm still
Okay,
underweight.
okay. So nausea is an issue for the medications you're taking too?
I don't know, maybe. But I'm I'm drinking Coca-Cola and it's helping. So that's my diet.
Oh
Oh, it
wow.
Always
pains me to
Coca-Cola
hear
and
energy
cucumbers.
drinks and soda.
I'm a lot worse in the morning, and I don't normally drink energy drinks.
But cucumbers on top of soda? There's like nothing to cucumbers but water. Uh,
It's hydration.
Exactly. I like cucumbers with
oh,
vinegar.
not gonna
It's
win.
amazing.
Not gonna
Or to
win.
drink vinegar with nothing else. I love it. Oh my God, I
Vinegar's.
love it.
I used to drink pickle juice.
Mm. I've heard of that.
Oh,
Have you heard of people
I have
drinking milk with pizza?
Yep.
Yeah, I
no,
heard
but
that
I
most
usually
recently. To each his own.
I ate jalapeno with mayonnaise and jelly.
With what?
I ate
Mayonnaise.
jalapeno with mayonnaise and jelly,
Okay.
Coca-Cola jelly.
Yeah, in the
Nice.
US they'll put mayonnaise on anything and call it a salad. So that's definitely a thing here. Yeah, for real.
Bacon jelly sandwiches are really good.
Oh, you can never turn
Bacon
down a jelly
jelly.
sandwich.
Bacon jelly?
Oh, with
Bacon?
bacon?
Yeah. Toast, a piece of toast, put jelly on it, and put bacon in there. Like,
I'm sure
oh
it's
yeah,
not peanut butter, and
you try it sometime. It's good. You get the sweet and the salty.
I don't like jelly.
Mm.
So use preserves. It's got real fruit in it.
There you go. Herbs.
I don't like the texture of the jelly.
Well,
Of
you won't
I,
notice the texture because you got the bacon.
I can notice. I'm quite sensitive to the texture of my food.
Well, do what you got to do to stay getting the vitamins that you need. Set the reminders and use some kind of motivational quote or something to remind yourself that you got to eat this because it's not going to kill you. If
I'm
anything,
eating.
it'll lengthen your life. Do some research.
Today is my diet is a very bad example.
Oh, don't call like individual
AJ,
choices
you're
into
bad.
question.
Say that again.
What?
I said AJ was being bad.
Yeah.
My epilepsy meds gave me an autoimmune disease and PCOS. I had my first appointment in 2 years with my neurologist. Told him that I was just diagnosed with Hashimoto's and PCOS. All of the symptoms started after I went on Devalproex. But when I went to my primary doctor, OBG, about gaining weight and fatigue, they all said to exercise more and eat better. I run 5 miles every other day. This went on for years until I changed doctors. I asked my neuro if there was a correlation of PCOS and the meds I was taking, and you'll never guess what he said. He said PCOS and Devalproex are associated, as in there's a correlation of developing PCOS while taking it. Apparently, it also triggered Hashimoto's. I'm so upset. I can't stop taking my seizure meds. This is the only one that works, but it's making me sick. I asked if I stopped taking my meds, if the PCOS and Hashimoto's would reverse. He said unlikely. So basically, I now have two horrible diseases to add on to epilepsy. Constant cycle of treating one thing that is also creating problems, tired of being sick, tired of taking meds, frustrated and angry. I can agree with this one.
Hugs.
Absolutely. Hugs on this one, especially to hear that the conditions that they developed are probably not going to reverse. Definitely adopt a new strategy of second opinion for any and all treatment choices, because somebody could have caught that.
With you on that with Kate. Somebody should have caught that. Does anyone else feel like a child because you can't drive? I've been struggling quite a bit lately with epilepsy diagnosis and not being able to drive. So it was 2023 when I got diagnosed. After I had 2 absent seizures, I was immediately told I couldn't drive until 12 months seizure free. I unfortunately still have not achieved that. After numerous medications, tweaks, etc., I think me and my epileptologist are finally on the right track and seem to have found a good combination of anti-seizure medications that have reduced my seizures. However, I'm not driving, just sucks for me personally. I enjoy driving and was devastated when it was ripped away from me so abruptly. It didn't take me a while to accept it, which I have, but there are days when I get very frustrated because I know I'd be 100% okay to drive. I also hate being a burden on others and also having to rely on others for lifts. It's embarrassing. I'm 28 years old. However, it just feels infantilizing at times. Sorry for the rant. Does anyone else feel like this? Yes. Man, I don't feel like a child because I can't drive, but I feel the burden and a lot of the other things the person said.
I can totally relate to it, but at the same time, it's totally not safe for me to drive because of the seizures that I have. I don't want to kill anybody.
Right.
Therefore, it's very selfish for me to want to get into a, huge missile and drive it down the road and possibly kill who knows who I would kill.
Right. That's my thing. I don't want to hurt anybody and have to live with that. I'm already
Right.
emotional as it is. Couldn't imagine.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
why I
just,
stopped. Sorry.
I mean, I'm almost 48 years old and I'm calling my mom or my children for rides. That sucks.
Yeah. It sucks that I have nobody to count on. So there's that. Sorry if I'm trauma dumping.
No, this
Yeah,
is
it's
the only place. I was just thinking this is the only place where we can speak freely about that at any point in your life.
I think the thing that most makes me feel like a child is the fact that my mom still treats me like a child.
That's what doesn't help the most.
She's the one that does it the most.
Yep. What are you thinking going out the door? Do you have your phone? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Oh, she
I just
freaked
turned
out this
34.
she called this morning. She sent me 2 text messages and called me this morning because she couldn't get a hold of me for an hour.
I
She
don't
was
get
about
that.
ready. She freaks out if she can't get me within 10 minutes.
And
I don't
still
get
being an
that.
embarrassment. Yeah.
You should feel good about that.
I think another feeling like a child thing comes from when the neighbors or, whoever in public understand, actually witnesses a seizure. And if we not traumatized, but our seizure ends up being an inconvenience to somebody else, that's another thing that contributes to keeping the, like, I don't know, over monitoring, I think, going.
My mom has never even seen one of my seizures, been there for one of my seizures, other than seizures that she has been completely and totally oblivious to. So she hasn't even taken the time to look up what she needs to do in this account of anything. She's clueless.
And that sucks because you're with somebody who does not know what to do when certain things happen, and that could be your life, could be a life and death situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not alone.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trauma dumping now.
It is all right. I needed some trauma to bury mine. And thank you. Hey, James.
There we go. Hey, what's up?
Not much. The icebreaker today is, how long have you been growing that beard?
I mean, I've trimmed it several times. I've had my mustache and my beard since about 2010. But I do obviously I keep it trimmed. I don't just let it go full homeless shaggy. I mean, I know it is really, really long, but if I hadn't cut it in 15 years, it would be, ZZ Top looking down to my belly button type beard.
Couldn't imagine.
You're not old enough to rock ZZ Top yet.
I think we strayed away from this post that I had, the driving, because of the feeling like a kid. I was going to go to the first comment. Since I feel like a
Oh.
baby and I sit at home on days when my boyfriend and parents work, LOL, trying to find hobbies at home, I make LOL to make me happy. It's hard, and I do not live in a walkable city at all. To find everything is so far away from each other. My poor car sits on the side of the house, but we will drive again. I believe in us. Hugs to you. This shit sucks. Also, why is there like zero work from home jobs? Shaking my head. I do feel this and less and childlike, but it has made me focus hard on urban planning as a result, and why our cities are primarily built around the car. One else said, move on, don't drive, get over yourself. Huh. I'll never drive again.
Me neither.
Post seizure in sleep.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.